Coming to paperback and e-readers, Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer. Take a trip into the macabre world of goth modeling in the new millennium in this all-new Spinsterella story. Pre-order your copy of Spinsterella Goth Girl Summer at Amazon.com and other online booksellers everywhere. Better get the coleslaw, y'all, cause we're having us a barbecue. There's a lot of controversy regarding the placement of Shadur Sanders in the NFL draft. Now, Shadur Sanders was the son of legendary NFL player Neon Deion Sanders, who went on to play for the NFL, as he was also playing for baseball teams like the New York Yankees, and later went on to a long career in broadcasting as related to football, and then after having that long storied career as related to being a football broadcaster, then went on to coach the Colorado Buffaloes football team. And many expected Shadur Sanders to place higher in the NFL based on the legendary career of his father and his skills as a coach, helping his son learn about the game. And many people expected Shadur Sanders to basically be placing as related to being possibly picked in the first round. However, Shadur Sanders wasn't picked until the fifth round of the NFL draft, and that had many pundits winding up wondering why Shadur Sanders, looks like a promising pick, was picked so low in the NFL draft. And others are out here speculating that this whole low picking of Shadur Sanders was something that was unprecedented. I mean, this whole picking of Shadur Sanders being so low is something that was never seen before as related to a top player. Now, many are speculating that Shadur Sanders possibly wound up being picked so low due to the way he approached many of the teams in the NFL. Some say he did not attend certain events as related to the NFL draft, and others say that Shadur Sanders just did, when he went to be interviewed, basically acted very cocky and unprofessional, and didn't look to be someone who looked to follow the lead of the coaches on the team, and basically believed that he was some sort of star. This is what many are speculating that led to Shadur Sanders not being picked high in the NFL draft. But when I take a critical examination regarding this whole situation regarding Shadur Sanders, what was being done here with this top prospect was many in the NFL wanted to send a message to him and his father. Now, what those individuals in the NFL wanted to do with Shadur Sanders was they wanted to send a message to him and his father regarding who he was and let him know what his place was in the NFL, which is basically a part of the sports arm of white supremacy. And with it being a part of the sports arm of white supremacy, what they wanted to do by placing Shadur Sanders so low was let this young black man know his place in the NFL slave plantation. Now, when it comes to the NFL, it's basically a slave plantation, and it's a slave plantation where black men just go out here and be these big, strong, buck black men who go out here and provide entertainment for many of the white owners. And in order to be a part of that NFL, a black man has to go out here and emasculate himself to follow the unwritten rules of white supremacy as related to their social order, and that was the rule that wound up messing up Shadur Sanders' placement in the draft. He wasn't following those unwritten social rules as related to white supremacy, because when it comes down to the white supremacists who control the sports arm of white supremacy, what they want to see is a emasculated black male who basically fits into the black boxes that are acceptable to white people. And sadly, Shadur Sanders wasn't spellbound. No, he wasn't looking to be one of these black males who came from a single mother household, who was, again, desperate to go out here and get this money to buy a house from mama, nor was he one of these black males who was caught up in his lust for white women to the point where he was thinking about getting that money and thinking about looking to go find himself a young blonde white female to bring that wealth back to white supremacy, nor was he a bootlicker like the late O.J. Simpson, who was looking for white acceptance. No, Shadur Sanders was a black boy who was raised by a black father who raised him to be a black man, and this black man had a lot of confidence regarding his ability to play on the field. And as this black man expressed his confidence and had a sense of self-esteem and self-worth, this is what upset many of these white supremacists who were looking for a player to be docile and submissive, because the last thing they wanted on one of their teams is another confident black man like Colin Kaepernick was presenting himself to be. No, they don't like the idea of intelligent, confident black men working for them, and that's where Shadur Sanders wound up violating an unwritten social rule as related to overall business for heterosexual black men. Now, I myself have run into this myself when I went to the CUNY civil service hiring pools. Again, I came into that whole process hoping to be interviewed on the merits, and as I was thinking I was going to be interviewed on the merits, I didn't know about the anti-black racism directed at heterosexual black men, and that's where I know what's happening with Shadur Sanders, because I experienced it myself. And when you come into an interview process and you're looking polished, you're looking confident, and you're presenting an image of competence and confidence, this is what upsets many in the institutions of white supremacy and their black and non-black bootlick followers, because they don't like the idea of a black man coming into a workplace looking to be in a place where they can have a sense of self-worth. No, what they're looking for when they look to recruit black men is a completely docile and submissive male, a docile and submissive male who just basically wants to go along to get along, and that's not what Shadur Sanders was presenting as related to himself. No, Shadur Sanders was presenting too much confidence about himself, and even some would consider arrogance as related to the white owners, and him having an entourage of people with him as related to looking at his cameras and different things. That basically upset many of these white owners of these football teams who wanted to, again, see one of these docile, submissive beta males who, yeah, he got skills on the football field, but he doesn't understand how to be a man and take care of his own business, because they don't need you to take care of your own business, because they want to take care of your business for you. No, with the NFL, they basically want to do with every black man on a job, have you in a codependent relationship, and they want to have you in this codependent relationship looking to beg for your daily bread and believe that you need this NFL team in order to survive. They don't want to see you with a mindset of, again, confidence, competence, and an ability to even think of leading yourself. No, they don't want that type of black man, especially in a quarterback position, because when it comes to quarterbacks, again, the quarterback is supposed to be the leader of the team, and with him being the leader of the team, he's supposed to be the one who has that ability to lead the players, but they don't want that black man to go out here and not just to lead himself. That's why they didn't want Shadur Sanders, because Shadur Sanders was leading himself. No, they wanted a guy who, again, could lead the team on the field, but submit to the coaches and do what they tell him to do. Again, be this obedient house slave. Again, they wanted that type of black male. They did not want a black man, and that's why Shadur Sanders basically wound up placing in fifth because what they wanted to do was send a message to this black male that he needed to know his place and know his place in the system of white supremacy as related to the sports arm of white supremacy. They needed to let him know that he needed to know his place, and this was their way of putting him in his place, putting Shadur Sanders in his place, and looking to humble and humiliate him by having him end in the NFL draft in an ignominious fashion. They hope to humiliate Shadur Sanders. Again, hope to humiliate Shadur Sanders, all for looking to assert himself as a black man, and look to again send a message about black men who come from homes with fathers, because this was also done with, I think, the guy, the LeVar Ball. Again, they don't like players who come from homes with fathers in today's modern NFL and modern sports. Now, in the past with guys like Michael Jordan, they did want guys with fathers because the coaches could lead them, but now what they want are these submissive beta males who basically, again, are submitted to their mothers and also submitted to white supremacy. Again, yes men will provide them with no pushback. Yes men will provide them with no resistance. Yes men who won't challenge them. That's what they want for their games, and that's why the game has basically become whack at this point for both the NFL and the NBA, because without men to push back, there's no way to improve the game. And that's why they didn't want Shadur Sanders to place high, because they didn't want the idea of a black man asserting his confidence and his competence. But what they didn't understand is that when a black man asserts his confidence and his confidence, he is helping you achieve excellence. And that's what Coach Prime was doing with the Colorado Buffaloes. That's what he did throughout his career, working towards excellence. And he taught and coached his son in order to learn how to be excellent. But the NFL didn't want excellence. No, what they wanted was obedience. What they wanted was a submissive black male who they could, again, go out here and get wealthy, continue to build their wealth on. Now, they'll give these guys, again, millions of dollars, which they'll go buy mama a house. But these guys, again, since they won't know how to manage their careers, eventually will be broke in about 5 to 7 years. And they're hoping to, again, reap on the profits on the guys from the single mother household who basically bought mama a house. Or they're looking to, again, profit, again, off the player who got involved with the white woman by going out here and getting a whole lot of child support from that person. And from the bootlick, they're hoping to go out here and profit from them by going out here and making money on all of the deals and endorsement deals they make off of them. Again, they look at these black males and see them as people they can exploit. But when they looked at Shadur Sanders and they saw that he had a confident mindset and a competence as related to the game and an understanding of business taught to him by his father, they saw a guy they couldn't make any money on. No, there was no way for them to make money at the expense of Shadur Sanders, and that's why they wanted to wage this campaign as related to him violating the unwritten rules of white supremacy to again look to humiliate this man for looking to be a man, like the late Neely Fuller Jr. says in one of his videos that was presented by the hip-hop cartoons. Again, they don't want to see a black man be a man. No, they want to see a black man be in a childlike role, and that's what they didn't like about Shadur Sanders. They didn't like him being a man. Now, there was a report of an Atlanta Falcons assistant coach going out here and, again, making a statement about Shadur Sanders, and, again, made this statement that he was basically, something happened as related to him being signed on a team, but it was presented to be a joke. And, again, that was another message by white supremacy to show no respect for this man, no respect for this man, no respect for his abilities on the field. No, they wanted to, again, put him in his place. Now, this Atlanta Falcons coach was basically fined as related to this situation, but he did violate NFL rules and should have been terminated. But again, when it comes down to white supremacy, again, they basically make up the rules as they go along because their ultimate rule is anti-black racism and maintaining the old traditions of white supremacy, where a black man cannot have the confidence as a man to be a man. A black man can't be presented himself as more intelligent than white men. A black man cannot present himself as more articulate than white men. And he can't present himself in a role where he's looking like a leader. No, what they want to see are these docile, submissive bootlicks, again, who are caught up in their lust for, again, taking care of mama or going out here and looking to lust after white women, again, or being a bootlick, somebody who they can use in their whole system of white supremacy and profit at their expense. They're not looking to see a black man, again, rise to power because they've already got a lot of black quarterbacks, and the whole thing is they don't want another one who is looking to exercise his power as a man. No, they don't want that type of black man in their sport. No, that they want a certain type of black man. And this whole situation with Shadur Sanders was all about looking to put a black man in his place as related to his race, put him in his place as related to his race, and humiliate and emasculate that black man. And this is what many of these employers do. They don't want to see intelligent black men. They don't want to see confident black men working for them. And they don't want to see it because, again, according to the system of white supremacy, they want a system of goodies, giveaways, and guarantees just straight for them. And the only people who deserve those goodies, giveaways, and guarantees are white people or black bootlicks they can control. No, they don't want the idea of an intelligent black man, again, who comes from a home with a father out here because that black man can again push back against them, and they fear that if that person pushes back, they may have to deal with an entire rebellion on the NFL slave plantation, and they don't want to deal with a rebellion on the NFL slave plantation. So what they want to do is go out here and they'll put Shadur Sanders as the 5th round pick to humiliate and emasculate him and send him and his father a message that he needs to be humble if he wants to be in this NFL. And if he doesn't want that at all, what will happen to him is he'll wind up being put on the NFL's version of a do not hire list or be blacklisted because, again, in order to play the game, you have to play the game. That's the message that's been sent with Shadur Sanders as related to the unwritten social rules of white supremacy. According to those unwritten social rules, again, you have to play their game and submit to the game on their terms because they are the owners, and since they are the owners, you have to play their game and again submit to them. And that's the message that's being sent to not only Shadur Sanders and his father, Coach Prime Deion Sanders, but to all the players in the NFL. This is all about sending a message regarding the unwritten social rules of white supremacy, the unwritten social rules of white supremacy, that if you are a black player, you have to play the game by white supremacy's terms, which is run by the sports arm of white supremacy. These owners, basically what they want to do is send a message to Shadur Sanders, letting him know, and his father know, and every black male player know, that if you want to be on this plantation, you've got to go out here and do what you're told. Do what you're told because you are a part of this plantation and you're not an employee that they consider having any value. No, you're just another slave that just puts their body on the line as related to these games. And if you go out here and put your body on the line, then you can go out here and profit from the business, but you are not allowed to build wealth, or you're not allowed to think for yourself. No, they'll do the thinking, just like the late Neely Fuller Jr. used to tell us. They don't need you to do the thinking. No, they don't want black men to be thinking for themselves. And that's why they don't want certain black men on jobs, because they think we're going to start thinking for ourselves. No, what they want are guys who are just going to go out here and be mindless about their work, do what they're told, and just go blow their money at their businesses so that they can profit. Again, it's all about them getting wealthy at the player's expense. And the thing that Shadur Sanders made the mistake on was thinking he could make a profit for himself in the system of white supremacy and be his own man. But in the system of white supremacy, they don't want black men. They want black males with a childlike mindset to work on many of their jobs, whether it be in the NFL. Again, in order to make the big money, they want you to be this guy who, again, they can just use in any way they please. And Shadur Sanders, again, his father coached him on the game as related to football, but didn't coach him about white supremacy. And because he didn't understand the unwritten rules of white supremacy or the subtle politics transpiring around him regarding the system of white supremacy, they wanted to, again, have him place fifth. And they had him placed fifth in the NFL draft, which is next to last, because they wanted to send that, not only send that message to him to put him in his place, but also let him know that in the system of white supremacy, they don't need any black man to be smart. No, they don't need you to go out here and do any thinking. They'll do the thinking for you. And the only thing you need to do is just go out here and play their game. And if you can't play their game, then it's basically game over for you as related to working for the NFL or in any job in this modern job market. Now, one of my viewers wanted to request this video, but they didn't want to go out here and put the money up for it. But if you want to help me out, you can drop a donation of a minimum of $15 to the PayPal or the Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And again, if you want to request a video, you can go and drop that donation as well, and I'll make a video for you if you want to request a video. Now, if you want to also help out the channel, you can go out here and pick up many of the books on the SJS Direct imprint, such as my fiction, such as the ISIS series, the Esteem series, the John Haynes series, the Spinsterella series, and my vampire novel, The Eternal Night, and my sorority novel, The Thetis, and my business novel, Recipe for Success. And you can also pick up many of my men's issues books and also learn about how to identify workplace predators with books like Stop Simping in the Workplace. And you can find all those books in paperback and Kindle format on Amazon.com. You can also find them at other online booksellers like Draft to Digital, Google Play, Barnes & Noble, and big box retailers like Walmart and Target. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and e-readers, Esteem Season of the Witch Girl. The aspiring angel takes on a wicked teenage witch in this action-packed, all-new Esteem series adventure. Pick up your copy of Esteem Season of the Witch Girl in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers today. Now available in paperback and e-readers, John Haynes, A Thorn in My Side. The man who rules the world takes on an agent from the CIA from the Black Boule in this all-new John Haynes series adventure. Get your copy of John Haynes' A Thorn in My Side in paperback and e-readers at online booksellers everywhere. Support Black-owned and Black-operated digital broadcast media. www.niceradionetwork.com. Nice Radio Network, broadcasting 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.